to Cause Before Symptom with your host, James Carner.
Tonight we're going to be talking about the Great Disruption, a global forecast with meteors. Heavy stuff, stick around. Welcome to Cause Before Symptom. I'm your host, James Carner. Today is September 20th, 2024. Tonight's topic, oh my God, the Great Disruption, a global forecast with meteors. We're going to get into an economic disruption so rapid and technological that's going to change the landscape for good as the elite push us towards Agenda 2030, which was supposed to be in 2021. Something put a monkey wrench in that. We're going to be discussing that a little bit later. Let's get into the Great Deception. The term Great Deception is often used to describe a period of significant and rapid societal, economic, and technological change. It's a concept that's been discussed extensively in recent years, especially in the context of climate change, technological advancements, and geopolitical shifts. Here are some of the key factors that global summits might be referring to when discussing the Great Disruption, which we've actually seen on TikTok many, many times. We have the Great Disruption and them talking about how things are going to change rapidly, where we're going to only be allowed 3 sets of clothing. All cars are going to be outlawed, and all kinds of other stuff as they herd us into the smart cities. Now, climate change, the acceleration effects of climate change, such as extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and biodiversity loss, this is according to academia, pose significant risks to global stability and economic prosperity. So what the elite need to do is push us towards, I would say, a calamity in order to get us to switch over to the central bank digital currency and get on with Agenda 2030 as they herd us out of the fields and into smart cities so it's easier to keep track of us. Also, is technological advancements. Rapid advancements in fields like artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and renewable energy have the potential to disrupt traditional industries and reshape societies. You know, there's too much people on the earth, at least 7.5 billion people, so technological advancements can't go any higher unless we do something about the population. Geopolitical shifts, the rise of new global powers, changing alliances, and increasing tensions between nations can lead to geopolitical instability and economic uncertainty. Duh. And economic uncertainty? Well, those are the factors like globalization, automation, and income inequality that can create challenges for governments and business. You know, like, I don't know, 40 million people crossing the border since 2015, which is the estimate that I came up with after I viewed every single state that had problems with keeping their borders closed and people went across. And with that 40 million people, they're going to need jobs. How are we going to get them jobs? Well, they just may take the simple jobs that are out there that everyone else is using, and they're going to want to work, so therefore they're going to take less. And that's how you do economic uncertainty, geopolitical shifts, technical advancements, and climate change all wrapped into one. But meteors will come soon, I promise you. The technological change and its impact. Well, technological advances are driving significant changes in various sectors like automation and robotics. We can't have that when we have so much of a population, right? We need to herd it down to 500 million people so we can make that change come true. The automation and robotics is increasing. Use of automation and robotics is it's leading to job displacement in some industries while creating new opportunities in others. But really, it's not opportunities for other people, just opportunities for other people to make money. You know, globalists. Artificial intelligence is transforming industries like healthcare, finance, and transportation. It's also raising concerns about job displacement, privacy, and ethical implications. Those are all big things that need to be addressed for the globalists as they continue on with their Agenda 2030 and the great disruption that is coming, which is going to eliminate the middle class and put in just the major rich and major poor. There's no in between, folks. No in between. And renewable energy has something to do with it, along with artificial intelligence, like healthcare, finance, transportation. It would be nice when you can have a robot operate on your liver instead of just one of those regular doctors who actually love to take care of human beings. But with renewable energy, the transition in that area, sources like solar or wind power, is disrupting traditional energy markets and reducing carbon emissions. So there's going to be a battle until someone can win that one. And biotechnology, in order to disrupt the global economy, they're saying that advancements in biotechnology is leading to breakthroughs in medicine, agriculture, and material science, but it doesn't do anything when you have too many people on Earth. So the point is, they want to do something that's called depopulation because it's going to help the economy, right? It's going to help us grow. And there just seems to be too many people with too many mouths, just according to Dick Cheney when he quoted, we're just useless eaters. The geopolitical shifts and alliances take rising powers throughout this deregulation that's coming. The rise of China and India as global economic and political powers is reshaping the international landscape. Well, it seems to be BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. They're the ones that are raising instability because apparently it's competing against the Federal Reserve, which isn't federal, nor does it have any real reserves. And the Federal Reserve just doesn't like to have competition. So they're looking at China and India as a global economic and political superpower, and they got to do something about that. The changing alliances are happening through the geopolitical shifts. Well, traditional alliances are evolving with new partnerships forming and old ones weakening. You know, kind of like how they want to take over Taiwan. Yeah, Taiwan is where they make all of the semiconductor processing chips that are in everything from your cold soft drinks to your light bulbs. Like, we really need processors in our light bulbs to turn off, shut off, so we can go buy a new one. And then, of course, global governance, which is a part of this deregulation and this great disruption that's coming. Oh, yes, it's coming. Yeah, so the shifts in alliances with changing alliances and the global governance, they need effective global governance to address these challenges like climate change, pandemics, and nuclear proliferation, which is becoming increasingly urgent. So what stands in the way? Well, people like you and me who just want to make $1. People like you and me who want to pay off our house. People like you and me who want a steady job with benefits and good pay. But that doesn't happen. But potential solutions are coming with this whole disruption of the economy. While specific solutions may vary depending on the summit and the participants, here are some common themes that are likely to be discussed. Investment in education and skills training. Yeah, we need to invest a lot of money to train people not to work anymore and train people to just let go of their jobs to robots and anybody else who wants to work for less. To prepare the workforce for the future, the workforce. Governments and businesses need to invest in education and skills training to equip people with the skills needed for the jobs of tomorrow. You know, kind of like what Rockefeller did when they put their dirty little hands in the education department and decided to raise workers instead of critical thinkers. They also want to start with sustainable development. Ooh, I'm sure you've been missing out on that one. Promoting sustainable development practices can help mitigate the negative impacts of climate change and economic growth. I didn't know that literally the sustainable development has problems with it getting a little too hot, well, or sometimes too cold. Or what is it? Global warming, global cooling, or is it in between? I don't know. Let's just call it climate change and call it today. The international cooperation is going to be a big one here because if anybody's going to set up and become part of a new world order like the elite want to, and you could call them whatever you want. You can call them the wealthy Uber bloodline super rich, or you could call them the Illuminati, or whatever. It doesn't matter. There are a group of people out there who have a lot of money and they're quite bored. and they want to keep it all to themselves, and we're just in their way. And that's why I have this show, just to promote exactly what they're doing, to get you to understand exactly what's going on in this world. Yes, that's why we're live right now on Rumble. We're live every single night at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, talking about, corruption, government overreach. We talk about religion. We talk about all kinds of things. And we set the record straight based on the simple principles of common sense. That's what we do here on this show. That's what I do, in fact. Now, it won't happen unless they can bring together their ethical considerations. Yeah, as technology continues to advance and more population continues to explode, they have got to address these ethical concerns and ensure that it is used for the benefit of humanity. Yes, that's basically like saying we need to get rid of racism by talking about it all the time. That's what they like to do. Of course, to get ready for this global disruption, they want to adapt to it using individual and societal changes. To navigate the challenges and opportunities presented by the Great Disruption, individuals and societies will need to make significant changes. Oh, yes. Here are some key areas to focus on. On an individual level, that means you, personally, you have to make these changes. Lifelong learning. The pace of technological change requires individuals to continuously learn and adapt to new skills and knowledge. Like robotics. If you don't know anything about artificial intelligence and robotics, well, you're not going to stick around for the global disruption. Financial literacy. Understanding personal finance and investing can help individuals prepare for economic uncertainty. Like the majority of people even have any more than $150 sitting in savings, even if that, or even in their checking account, let alone. And the ethical considerations. Oh, yes. As technology advances, individuals need to be aware of ethical implications and make informed choices. Is that ethical? Is this the right thing to do to get my job replaced by a robot? Well, I have to make an ethical consideration and understand my surroundings and be aware of this so I can make an informed choice. And of course, we get back to that sustainability, adapting sustainable practices in daily life, such as reducing waste, conserving energy, and supporting ethical consumption can contribute to a more sustainable future. That's kind of like get rid of your T-bone steak. That's not sustainable. Get rid of your filet mignon. That's not sustainable either. I'll tell you, that's funny stuff right there. The societal level. In the global disruption, education reform must happen. They need to invest in education to equip individuals with the skills needed for the future, and that's crucial. Like, for example, if you don't know anything about a data center, if you don't know anything about operating systems, if you don't know anything about switching out hard drives and memory, on servers that are located in a data center that sometimes they go bad, you put in a new one, well, you're going to be screwed in the future for tomorrow with this wonderful global disruption coming. And also, what's funny is, it just cracks me up. They need strong social safety nets. Yes, strong social safety nets can help protect vulnerable populations during times of economic uncertainty. A safety net is weekly checks. Yes. A few bucks in your pocket just to make you feel a little bit better about losing your job and herding you into these smart cities, which, by the way, they have. Universally, there are 40 cities who have signed a pact together whom they're going to, all over the world, follow strict guidelines on this whole global disruption smart city thing where literally, you think you have freedom, but soon you won't be able to go on hikes because, well, you're damaging Mother Nature. That's coming, so get ready. And we all need international cooperation, right? Addressing global challenges like climate change and pandemics require international cooperation and collaboration. So we have got to get the United Nations together and talk about this depopulation problem we have going on. Yeah, that's what we got to do. If we don't, we're in big shit. And lastly, the policy innovation. Governments need to develop policies that promote sustainable development, innovation, and social equity. And all of this has to happen after the global disruption. But basically, they're saying, hey, unless we do all of this stuff, it's going to happen. No, it's already happening. Because the middle class right now it's in the middle of the great disruption. The middle class is a particularly vulnerable group during times of rapid economic and social change. The great disruption, characterized by technological advancements, globalization, and economic uncertainty, has had a significant impact on the middle class in many countries. Here are some of the key challenges facing us. Job insecurity. Automation and technological advancements have led to job displacement in some sectors, making middle class jobs more insecure. Income stagnation. We've heard of this one. Wages for many middle class workers have stagnated or declined, while the cost of living has continued to rise. I wonder why that's happening. And of course, rising inequality. We've got to put in that racism in there to keep that going. The gap between the wealthy and the middle class has widened, making it more difficult for middle-class families to achieve economic security. That's something we've been talking about for, years. Nobody has really been paying attention to it, but it's kind of happening. The middle class is dying, and when you have a dying middle class, what do you have? You have peasants and kings. Peasants and kings. If that's what you want to beg for bread from the Lord of the land, well, that's what you're going to get. And then the debt burden. Of course, we're $35 trillion in debt, and we only make 28. Can you do the math? We owe 35 trillion and we only make 28. That's it. Yes, I am live on TikTok and live on Rumble right now. Of course, you're not going to hear all the side effects and all the other stuff. You're just going to see me doing the show from live on TikTok this way. But I figured I'd try it out to see what happens tonight. Now, not from the jobs insecurity, income stagnation, rising inequality, the debt burden. To address these challenges, these global governments and businesses need to focus on policies that support the middle class. But do you think they will? I don't think so. This could include investing in education and skills training. They need to help individuals develop the skills needed for the jobs of the future. Yeah, we need to basically, instead of put kids in these pussy classes where they don't get a grade anymore, I think we should slam them into code and hardware and software and get them to understand how the difference between, binary code and PHP and all of the other types of codes and start learning that. Because if you don't, AI is going to take it over. And trust me, AI is also going to take over the board members. AI is going to take over all of the office employees. AI is going to take over sales and marketing. It's happening. It is happening. Don't fool yourself. Artificial intelligence is here, and it's not going anywhere. And it is saving the billionaire elites billions, if not trillions of dollars in labor costs alone. So I'm telling you right now, most of the people who are smart are just small business CEOs who understand how to do a little bit of programming. They actually get into ChatGPT through OpenAI, and they learn how to code directly to the back end and support a front end for it. And then start building their business around that, using the artificial intelligence to do things like sales and marketing, to reach out to marketing or reach out to consumers to sell your product, etc. This stuff's happening right now. It's right under your nose. This is the Wild West when it comes to artificial intelligence. But if they're not investing in education and skills training for the middle class, I'm telling you, the kids are going to be living with you for the rest of your life. Promoting job growth in high-paying sectors, well, those are places like in Seattle or Portland or San Francisco or, and that's just the West Coast. And supporting job growth in high-paying sectors, well, these people have to have skills that are integrated into computers, integrated into hardware, software, integrating into understanding what data is and how data is transferred from A to B and how to get it transferred even faster. You're not going to make it in this world if you are not in the game of data, hardware, software, and understanding the correlation between. If you don't understand any of that, I'm telling you, the jobs that you were doing at the desk are gone. AI is going to replace all of that. And they think they're going to strengthen society or social safety nets while providing support for individuals and families who are struggling financially. Well, that's not a great idea. That's bailing out the people. Should we just bail out the billionaires too? Oh, yeah, that's right. We did that in 2008. How'd that go for us? Not so good. Strengthening the social safety nets isn't going to do crap. I think we need to put all of our funds and focus back to doing everything in America, quit outsourcing, and try to figure out how we can make and produce things in our own country with our own resources instead of using China. But don't forget, the United Nations said back in 2015, they promised China that they will be the new global super economic superpower. So if you guys aren't paying attention, then China is in line to be the next king of consumerism. And addressing that income equality, implementing policies that reduce the gap between the wealthy and the middle class. Do you think they can do that? Hell no. Not when you have lobbying. Lobbying should be illegal. You should never give any politician money for a favor. And that's what lobbying is. And it's legal too. Don't know why, but it really helps the corporations. Now, by taking these steps, governments and businesses can help ensure that the middle class remains a vital part of society and continues to contribute to economic growth and prosperity. But will they do it? I'm sorry, they won't. And based on recent performance, market capitalization, and industry trends, here are the companies that are likely to remain at the top during this global disruption that's coming. One are technology giants like Microsoft, Apple, Alphabet, Amazon, and Tesla. They continue to dominate the tech industry and have a strong foothold in various sectors. That's one reason why America just can't fall, because, well, they're all located here, aren't they? Pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Roche, well, they have benefited from the global pandemic and are likely to maintain their position in the healthcare industry. Well, it sure does. I don't know about you, but when I go to and drive around cities, every single city that I see, all the brand new buildings that are up are actually hospitals, like specialists in, kidneys and livers and this and that. And all of the other things are like the real estate agencies. Well, their buildings seem to be crumbling and falling apart. The reason why is because the healthcare industry is making a fortune. Thanks to big oil back in the 1920s, when they decided that, we just aren't selling enough oil. We need to put it in pharmaceuticals. Therefore, they did it, and they made synthetic pharmaceutical oil, and we're swallowing 95% of that. Thanks, big oil. And then, of course, you have to mention the energy companies, Saudi Aramco, ExxonMobil, and Chevron. They remain major players in the energy sector, although the transition to renewable energy could impact their dominance. Well, it could, but you know what? We use plastics for everything. Probably won't affect them too much. Plus, they've been saving a lot of money over the years, so I'm sure they'll be just fine. Financial institutions like JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they're among the largest banks in the world and continue to play a crucial role in the global economy. But will they fare out when the global disruption hits that the elites are planning? I don't know. Emerging tech companies. Well, companies in emerging tech fields like artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and electric vehicles, they could disrupt traditional industries and become major players in the future. Well, I believe they actually are. Those are going to be the industries you want to be involved in. Probably not electric vehicles, because they're going to outlaw those. But you definitely want to be in artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and anything that has to do with robots. If you're not fixing robots, you are not going to have a job. Yeah, and this sounds more like removing people out of the lands and into the cities, is it not? Yes, I know I'm right. The phrase removing people out of the lands and into the cities is more an accurate way to describe the phenomenon of urbanization. That's what's coming. Yes, after they destabilize the economy and ruin everything, which is a significant global trend, right? Urbanization. Urbanization refers to the movement of people from rural areas to cities. And it's driven by various factors, including economic opportunities. You see, they're going to pitch the fact that you can get a job living in the city as long as we can have our cameras on you. Is that cool? We'll have cameras in your rooms, cameras in your bathroom. We will watch you take a bowel movement and tax you for it. There is nothing like weighing your poop to find out how much you pay in taxes. Infrastructure. Well, cities typically have better infrastructure, such as transportation, electricity, and sanitation, which can improve quality of life. Well, there goes the farmers who actually are living off their own livestock and off of the land, what they're producing. And I'm telling you, there isn't anywhere to go other than cities unless you know how to live off of the land by yourself or for your family. That means you need to know how to hunt, gather, You need to know how to plant seeds. You need to understand the area that you live in, the agricultural seasons. There's a lot you need to understand if you're going to live on your own. It's kind of like the new version of Naked and Afraid. All the Americans are going to be naked and running towards the cities, afraid that they couldn't make it in the territories of the lands that are now going to be banned. Social and cultural amenities, of course, they got to make sure that, everything's equal. Cities provide a wider range of social and cultural activities such as entertainment, arts, and education, and of course, raising awareness on racism and sexism and all of the other isms, the things that, well, when we continue talking about it, drive a wedge between all the people so we don't see what the globalists are doing. However, urbanization also presents challenges. It does? I did not know that. Yeah, it does. The infrastructure strain, housing shortages, and social inequality, just for three. As for more people move to the cities, housing demands can outpace supply, leading to increased housing costs and homelessness. The infrastructure strain, rapid urbanization, can strain city infrastructure, leading to congestion, pollution, and inadequate public services. It's not like we've seen that before with bad leaders like mayors, etc., have we? Social inequality. Urbanization can exacerbate social inequality as low-income individuals may struggle to access housing, education, and healthcare. Nothing like setting up the world for anarchy. Yes, urbanization is a major factor driving the construction of apartments instead of homes. Have you guys noticed this? All around the United States, they're building tiny homes and apartments. They're not really building houses anymore. It's kind of dying. Now, you may see a few here and a few there, but honestly, in the next 5 to 10 years, you're not going to see them building homes anymore. No, home ownership is out the window, okay? There's no money in it anymore. Ever since the crash of 2008, we learned our lesson, did we not? No, we didn't. We actually after we regulated the 2008 through a Democrat president, then a Republican president deregulated it all, and now we're back in the same boat, especially with the mortgage derivatives. It is absolutely out of control. In fact, they said it's around $1.2 quadrillion, and it's way overvalued. But don't worry, BlackRock's gotcha. BlackRock and JP Morgan Chase are going to put in a central bank digital currency software program that tracks all of the derivatives trade swaps. So you know what? Hey, everything's going to be great knowing that JP Morgan Chase and BlackRock will know who owns what. Not like they're going to do anything, nefarious like, I don't know, go after the people that have more money than them and do mafia style tactics to get them out of business. I mean, you can't have competition, but they're pitching this like, oh my God, we're going to tokenize all the derivatives market and we will know what's coming and going. Yeah, I can see a problem right there, especially when money talks and bullshit walks. So yes, urbanization is a major factor driving the construction of apartments instead of homes. The reason why is land costs. Land in urban areas is often more expensive than in rural areas, right? Making it more cost effective to build taller structures like apartments. The infrastructure, apartments are often located near transportation and other amenities, making them more convenient for residents. Lifestyle preferences. Many people prefer the convenience and social aspects of apartment living, such as being able to walk to work, restaurants and shops, etc. However, there are also factors that contribute to the construction of homes. Affordability. Can you guys afford a $500,000 home now? Yes. $500,000 home with nothing down, your average payments are going to be around $4,500 a month. Now, rent seems to be around $3,500 on average across in some of the city areas, but oh my God, nobody can afford anything above $4,000 a month just to rent, and then therefore, do you think they can afford to get a house for $4,500 a month? And on top of that, just because they lowered the federal interest rate on loans to a 0.5 or 0.5%, doesn't mean that people who build homes are going to line up, start getting loans to go out and buy homes to make money on that. No. And the lifestyle preferences, the investment of the home, and all of that, it's going to lead us into bankruptcy. Once again, nobody's going to be able to afford buying a home. We know this now. If we're not paying attention, that's on you. Now, smart cities are urban areas that utilize digital technologies to improve efficiency, sustainability, and quality of life for residents. These technologies can include sensors, data analytics, and Internet of Things like IoT devices. Here's how smart cities are going to affect you. Efficient resource management. And doesn't that sound great? Doesn't it sound great that 40 cities have signed up to do smart cities with the World Economic Forum? Isn't that beautiful? Beauty. Efficient resource management. Smart city technologies can help optimize the use of resources like water, energy, and waste, leading to more sustainable and cost-effective housing development. Unlike you who own your own home and you peeing in your own lawn, that just is not sustainable, right? You shouldn't be peeing on your own lawn. Smart grids, can't have those with your own house out there in the farmland. Integrating housing developments into smart grids can enable efficient energy management and reduce energy costs for residents. Yeah, right. Well, even if you had a house out somewhere on a piece of property way out in the boondocks and you had your own wind and solar, it doesn't matter. They don't want you out there because they don't make money off of that. They need grids to charge for. They need a box that tracks how much wattage you are using so you can be charged for it. That's how it's always been. Kind of like the Edison-Tesla dispute. Tesla invented free energy, free for all. All cities can be powered by the energy that's in the air. There's energy in the air? There sure is. But do they ever do it? No, they don't. Why? It's because Edison said, screw that, Tesla. If there's not a meter box on a home, I ain't going for it. They have to pay their fair share. And that's how it always is. Nothing's for free, folks. You live in a fallen world. And in a fallen world comes nothing for free. You have to earn and work for a living. But even what I'm seeing when it comes to the global disruption, we're all out of a job unless we understand computers, robots, artificial intelligence, databases, and getting data from A to B quicker. That's the future, unfortunately. Now, smart grids, smart building technologies, urban planning, affordable housing. The smart cities are all gathering around and they're going to pull their resources together to make it way more affordable to live in the cities than it would be if you lived out into the boonies. And they're going to make it great because you're 15 minutes walk away from anything you want to do, like go to a movie or go shopping or go to the park. Yeah, that's great. But you can't go to the boonsticks, okay? You can't pee on your own lawn, okay? You can't have the freedom of jumping in a truck and driving down a dirt road just to explore. None of that is on the plan of the Agenda 2030 and the sustainable development thing that they're building. So don't buy into it, guys. Don't buy into their new world order. Now, they're getting ready to create, and they're going to crash everything, and this is how they're going to do it. To create their new world order by 2030, that's within 5 years. It is possible, where a select group controls the majority of global resources and power. And I'm going to show you their strategy. First, the only one that has the blueprints from the New World Order, from the World Economic Forum, from the Bilderberg groups, yes, and even the Club of Rome. I'm talking about all of them. All of those international groups who are there to help other countries, but really they're trying to bring in a globalization, new world order to control you. So here's their strategy. Number one, utilize climate change as a catalyst. Yes. Exaggerate climate threats. They're going to amplify and sensationalize climate change predictions to create a sense of urgency and fear. Yet they're still selling homes or even apartment condos on the Florida coast right at the water while the seas are rising, and they're giving 30-year loans. How about that? Yeah. Next, they're going to manipulate public opinion. They're going to use media outlets and social media to shape public opinion and support policies that favor centralization and control. Then they're going to promote green initiatives. They're going to support the green initiatives and regulations that disproportionately affect rural communities and small businesses, forcing them to relocate to cities. Then they're going to leverage the cryptocurrencies. They're going to create a centralized cryptocurrency through Ripple, develop those that are controlled by a central authority, allowing for manipulation and surveillance due to the backends that the programmers at Ripple will have. Then they're going to promote adoption, encourage widespread adoption of these cryptocurrencies, making them essential for economic transactions. Well, sounds like they're doing that right now, aren't they? Oh, yes, they are. Then they're going to implement regulations. They're going to introduce regulations that favor centralized cryptocurrencies over decentralized ones, limiting competition and control. And then, my favorite, they're going to crash the stock market. They're going to create economic instability, trigger economic instability through factors like interest rate hikes, trade wars, or geopolitical crisis. Then they'll manipulate the markets using insider information and algorithms to profit from the market crash while destabilizing the financial system. And then target the middle class assets. Yeah, focus on assets that are primarily held by the middle class, such as stocks, bonds, and real estate, to disproportionately impact their wealth. Then they're going to lower the price of gold. Yes, you heard it here first. They're going to increase the gold supply. They're going to flood the market with gold from undisclosed sources, increasing supply and driving down the prices. Then they're going to encourage central bank selling. They're going to persuade the central banks to sell their gold reserves, further depressing the prices. Then they're going to promote alternate assets. Promote alternate assets like cryptocurrencies and government-backed digital currencies as substitutes for gold, reducing its demand. It's coming. And then on the timeline, years 1 through 2, this is their plan. Between now and 2030, are they going to do it? I don't know. Can they make it? I don't know. But this is what I have gathered. Years 1 through 2, this is starting this year, exaggerate climate threats, manipulate public opinion, and promote centralized cryptocurrencies. Years 3 through 4, trigger economic instability, crash the market, and lower the price of gold. And then on year 5, implement policies that favor centralized control, especially crypto, CBDC, consolidate the power, and establish their new world order. A significant event needs to take place in order to take our eyes off of what they're planning to do. I just gave you the bullet points, the step-by-step instruction manual on how the Jesuits are going to take control over the world. And before they do it, they need an event so drastic that will take everybody's eyes off of that, because they already used the pandemic. They can't use that again. But they're going to be using something that nobody has ever thought of. And I figured it out through listening and watching and monitoring all that I possibly can when it comes to history, when it comes to phenomenons like the UFO phenomenon, where it comes from religion and all kinds of data that came across my desk, and I looked through and I found one interview that absolutely shocked me to the core. It was Carol Bassel. Carol Bassel was on the 2001 UFO Disclosure Project, and literally she told us what Werner von Braun, the Project Paperclip, I can't say the word, Project Paperclip guy from Germany, who invented the rockets. Well, he said on his deathbed as a confession, and here's what's coming. Meteors. That's right. This global disruption needs a catalyst that will take everybody's eyes off of what they're doing financially and get everybody to rush and throw their money towards taxes to help us stop the meteors. Oh, and just so happens that a meteor just is now flying around, and it's going to be, orbiting. We're going to have a second moon now. Well, what's that all about? Never even heard of anything like that in my life, yet they're going to have a meteor that's going to be flying around, and something just may happen. And I'm telling you, this is how they're going to do it, okay? Because Werner von Braun told Carol Bassel on his deathbed that first, the elite need a boogeyman, and first it's going to be communists. And when that doesn't work, it's going to be men in caves. When that doesn't work, It's going to be Meteors. And when that doesn't work, the final card, Carol, that's what he said, aliens. Well, we're not at the aliens part yet, but they're warming us up for it. What the next one on the elites list is meteors. Yes, a significant asteroid impact could serve as a catalyst for dramatic global change, especially climate, potentially creating an environment conducive to the implementation of a new world order. Yes, as described in my previous scenario. We're going to be talking about more right after this commercial.
We are exposing the hidden culprits behind your constant fatigue and brain fog. This is going to blow your mind. No, really. If you're always tired, chugging coffee, and missing out on life, it's because you're exhausted. Listen up. It's not just you. It could be your gut. Your brain fog and fatigue might actually be due to dormant good bacteria in your gut. And that makes it hard to flush parasites and heavy metals, the real villains here. Crazy, right? The Invisible Threat Research team found that these toxins can mess up your energy and focus big time. We've got a free report that spills all the details. Or skip straight to Action with Elite Potions Detox Kit. Packed with non-GMO, organic ingredients, it kills parasites and binds to heavy metals. Listen to Robert from Las Vegas.
I just turned 50 and felt 20 again after using it. My heliopath approved it.
Modern diseases often trace back to these toxins. So why not give it a shot? Detox now and feel the difference. Order now and reclaim your energy.
Order now, reclaim your energy. That's right. Go to elitepotion.com. Do our heavy metal and parasite cleanse. And I'm telling you, you will feel way better than you ever have in your life. Why? It's because you'd be surprised at small, tiny, nano particulates of aluminum. It's so easy to get into our bloodstream nowadays because our gut to brain barrier is all messed up thanks to crude oil. Yeah, that's what it is. And on top of that, since our stomachs are upside down, creating bad bacteria, not good bacteria, they don't kill the parasites that they used to before the nutrients get sucked in by your intestines. So all the nutrients, they get into your intestines while the parasites, they go to work. Parasites and heavy metals are the leading cause to modern diseases. Check it out. Go to elitepotion.com. Now, back to the show. We've been talking about the global disruption and the global disruption on how they're going to do it and herd us into smart cities. I have laid out the foundry work and the foundation of this entire thing and how they're going to do it. And they need a global catalyst, something that's going to take our eyes off of the ball by monitoring what they're doing through things like the Council on Foreign Relations or the Bilderberg Group or the World Economic Forum or the Club of Rome or the Trilateral Commission or all of these other groups that are all out there to do one thing, and that's to bring in a new world order, new world religion, new world police, new world army, and go to the stars. Like Star Trek. They really think that this is going to happen. Oh, and by the way, they're preparing for their Messiah. Yes, the elite that run the world, they have a god that's going to come in the form of a demigod hey, don't believe me. Go check it out, okay? These are the Kabbalists who read their Talmud that talks all about the coming Messiah, and it's this coming Messiah is going to sit in Israel in the third temple and rule the world. I didn't make this up. They're the ones that are doing this, and we got to fight them. So here's what's coming. You're going to hear it here first. They're going to send a meteor down. Yep. And it is going to create an environment conducive to the implementation of a new world order as described above. Here's how. Global crisis. A major asteroid impact could trigger a global crisis leading to widespread destruction, economic collapse, and social upheaval. A centralized authority must be established when a meteor wipes out a city. In the aftermath of such a disaster, there could be a push for a centralized authority to coordinate relief efforts, manage resources, and restore order. There's gonna be an economic reset. The global crisis could provide an opportunity to restructure the global economy, potentially favoring certain individuals or groups who have the resources and influence to benefit from the rebuilding process. You know, kind of like what we did in Iraq when we went and blew shit up over there. Then Dick Cheney came in with his Halliburton company and cleaned it up and built All new buildings and made a lot of money. All new buildings and made a lot of money. Yeah. Don't forget, Dick Cheney. He's the first man ever to shoot a man in the face with a shotgun while bird hunting and got the man to apologize for it. Get Cheney, you devil, you. And then technological advancements. The need to recover from a major disaster could accelerate technological advancements, potentially enabling greater surveillance and control. But it's important to note that the consequences of a major asteroid impact would be unpredictable. Yeah, and could vary widely depending on the size, location, and timing of the impact. It's also possible that such a disaster could lead to increased international cooperation and a sense of global unity, rather than a power grab by a select few. Yeah, I doubt it. Oh, my live access was removed. I got my first violation live on TikTok. I'm going to appeal it, and let's see what it does. Yeah, whatever. Meanwhile, while that's under appeal, I'm going to head back over to my guys at Rumble. Yeah, I'm going to go to Rumble and talk to my guys over there and see what's going on. 34 watching, and there you have it. All right, so do you really think that we'll all come together after a meteor hits and we'll all have global unity? Or do you think it's all bullshit like I do and it is going to be a power grab by a select few? Well, I was testing on TikTok. I went live over there. For some reason, I ended up getting, something of 1,200 people following me over there when not even 4 days ago I had 140 people on TikTok. And then I posted something about XRP and then whammo! So I thought I'd go on TikTok to see what happens. Well, obviously, I got suspended again for talking about stuff that hurts the community. Oh, James hurt my feelings. Well, pull the thumb out of your mouth and grow up. But we know it's not the people. We know those are the bots. Isn't that right? All right, let's give a shout out to everybody. Hey, Amanda, what's going on? Mr. Vaughn, hello. Boots. Rwanda, what's going on? Claire, PLP is back. Boots. And I think that's it. Hey, guys, what's up? Thank you for being here. Now, it's going to be a meteor. How are they going to do it? You guys are like, come on now, they can't hurl a meteor from space and hit Earth. Well, have you ever heard of the rod of God? Yes. It's a weapon concept that involves launching a large, dense object from orbit at high speed to cause massive damage and a huge impact. Yeah. Boots says, because you said the few, what? Did I say the few? I got shut off of TikTok because did I say Nazi or did I say Jew? I don't know which one, but regardless. Whatever. That's why I'm on Rumble, guys. You know, you all ask me to go back on TikTok and then I start doing my shit and then they start screwing me. There's no reason. I'm sure you guys understand, right? Because many people have been coming to me, oh God, I want to see you back on TikTok. And then I get there and I get suspended. There's nothing I can do. So I say, go over to Rumble, where I can say Nazi, where I can say Jew, where I can say all this stuff up until they put me in handcuffs for freedom of speech. That's what it is. Now, the rod of God. It involves launching a large, dense object made from tungsten from orbit at high speed to cause massive damage upon impact. It's because I said Jew, really? Well, Jew that. The idea is often associated with the Strategic Defense Initiative, or SDI. It's a Cold War era program aimed at developing technologies to defend against missile attacks. Some proponents of SDI suggested that the Rod of God could be used as a kinetic energy weapon to destroy incoming missiles or enemy targets. However, the feasibility and effectiveness of the Rod of God concept have been debated. There are concerns about the difficulty of launching such a large object into orbit, the accuracy required for a successful strike, and the potential for collateral damage. Hello, Edged. Basically, it's like this. They are 20 feet by, I think, a foot. Like a foot around, 12 inches around. And it's just a rod. And as they shoot it from space, it heats up in the atmosphere. And by the time it hits ground, it sure looks like a meteor, man. But they're saying, oh, we can't do it. It's something we can't do. Yeah, actually it is. It is possible to launch a Rod of God weapon in stages, okay? This would involve launching multiple smaller components into orbit and then reassemble them in space to form the final weapon. Why do you think NASA is so busy up there all the time? Why do you think those astronauts got stuck up there? God was saying, I don't think it's a good idea that you launch a tungsten piece of metal down towards Earth, call it an asteroid, just so you can get your new world order. Well, I'm telling you guys, if it does happen, I expect you guys to forward my shit to everybody because I was the one that predicted it. I think it's going to happen too. I really do. Now, even with this method, the Rod of God, there are significant challenges to overcome, like assembling the large object in space, because that's complex and it's risky. And there's also concerns about the accuracy and reliability of such a weapon. Well, I don't think it would matter. As long as you hit it in the general vicinity of a state, blow that shit up, you're good to go. Call it a meteor and get the world to come together on climate change. Because, see, what they're going to say is, this impact is going to stir up a bunch of shit into the atmosphere. Unlike all the shit they've been stirring up in the atmosphere by causing all these wildfires, they're going to say that global warming is now going to explode because of the shit the asteroid did on impact and put into the atmosphere. And trust me, everyone's going to buy into it. Not you, not my few that are here on Rumble Live. 52 people, thank you for being here tonight. No, you guys are the smart ones. You guys understand that I am here for you, and I am here to give you the information before it happens. Now, while the Rod of God concept is intriguing, it's important to remember that it's a hypothetical weapon and has not been proven to be feasible or effective. Well, I found out that they built it. The Rod of God was discussed in many magazines and newspapers in 2020. The military worked on Project Thor. Instead of hundreds of small projectiles from a few thousand feet, Thor used a large projectile from a few thousand miles above the Earth. The Rods of God idea was a bundle of telephone pole-sized, 20 feet long, 1 foot in diameter, tungsten rods dropped from orbit, reaching a speed of up to 10 times the speed of sound. Oof. Boom! And they made it. They built it. The military even talked about it. The rod itself would penetrate hundreds of feet into the Earth, destroying any potential hardened bunkers or secret underground sites. More than that, when the rod hits, the explosion would be on par with the magnitude of a ground-penetrating nuclear weapon, but with no fallout. You see, they don't want the fallout. It would take 15 minutes to destroy a target with such a weapon. Yeah, and also destroy a small city. Elon Musk has been launching how many rockets into space? Well, it's hard to keep up with, right? So far, that little... I just don't like that man. That little wicked man so far has had or launched 251 missions into orbit. Do you think that's enough to assemble a tungsten device? Satellite that can shoot a rod and blow up a city and say, we need to protect mankind from meteors. Right? You see, I do believe they could have assembled such a device or a newer one, maybe created something even better with lasers that can mimic an asteroid. Remember Project Bluebeam? Remember also what Werner von Braun said on his deathbed to Carol Bassel. The elite always has to have a boogeyman, Carol. He told her first it will be communism, then men in caves, then asteroids, and then the final card, aliens. Don't you guys forget it. And that's where I came up with the idea of meteors. Obviously, the men in caves or terrorists isn't working. As you can see with Bibi and his struggle with trying to keep everyone at bay on his mass genocide of poor, defenseless people in Gaza. 3.5 million people that he's just got to massacre for his god, Baal and Moloch. But I digress. I believe what we are witnessing is an asteroid that will bring the world together under the guise of climate change. An event that will scare everyone into a great reset, and this just may happen very well soon. Agenda 2021 was changed to 2030. The Great Disruption will move the world into a one-world government, and this essay just laid out the groundwork for it. I did, step by step. Here is my case. Earth is about to get a mini-moon, temporarily. Have you heard about this? It's all over the news. It's going to be an asteroid that's 33 feet in length, 33 feet tall. Just so happens to be a Masonic number, right? What we know about asteroid 2024 PT5, well, the small asteroid was discovered on August 7th, recently, by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, or ATLAS. Atlas shrugged. A NASA-funded program, now named asteroid 2024 PT5. It will be captured in Earth's gravitational pull between September 29th and November 25th. So maybe that's when we should maybe expect a tungsten rod that will hit the city and they'll call it a day for the New World Order. After that, it will escape Earth's orbit and be pulled towards the sun before continuing its travels around the solar system. Now, when an asteroid hits the Earth, okay, and they could literally say, we thought it was just gonna orbit, but it went through a keyhole and went and hit us. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're setting it up, folks. At least that's what it looks like to me. And no, Claire, the thing that happened in Maui were airplanes with lasers on them. And those lasers, just plenty of fires they can make with those. Yeah, they're little airplanes. Little remote control airplanes with lasers on them that cause those fires. They also say they have them in satellites, but I don't buy it. Because it's still way too far up there. Airplanes can do the job. Nobody can see the airplanes, and the lasers are invisible, so there you have it. Now, when an asteroid hits the Earth, it causes the atmosphere to change. Did you guys know this? When an asteroid hits the Earth, it causes the atmosphere to change. What have we been talking about for the past, Obama years? Climate change. Dust and particles of debris from the collision find their way into the upper atmosphere and have the effect of blocking the sun's rays. It's called insolation. And the insolation is reduced and the climate cools because energy from the sun is reflected back into space. Do you see how this is all coming together, folks? Since the 1960s, scientists were settled that we were cooling. It's global cooling. It's going to be a new ice age. Science is settled. And then when we weren't cooling, in the 80s, science was settled. It's global warming. It's getting hotter. And every summer, it's record-breaking temperatures. Every summer. Bullshit. Look at the Farmer's Almanac. Nothing has changed. It is predicted over and over and over. And now, because global cooling, global warming didn't work, they say climate change. The elite have been trying to use climate change to tax us for quite some time. All of the damage that they have been causing hasn't made enough impact to bring the world together under one accord to fight something. Wars are not profitable anymore, and the elite are running out of a boogeyman. 911 was an inside job. Everyone now knows it. Even though when you and I'm sure the 51 of you watching this have all told their family this is all bullshit. That makes no sense. 2 planes, 3 buildings. What's going on? And everyone's all, you're not a patriot. And then we say, why is everybody hating Muslims? Don't you hate terrorists? No, this is racist. Thanks, George Bush Jr., for teaching all of us about racism. Remember when you would all stare at a Muslim on an airplane? You did. You know you did. All of the damage that has been caused by the impact will bring the world together. And a new boogeyman is born. An asteroid. They will have the means to declare yet another emergency like COVID, to stop the world in its tracks and focus on bringing everyone together to fight a cause with your money. And then central bank digital currency is going to just kind of be the side story. Oh, wow. They continue to move us towards CBDC. Well, I was too busy worried about asteroids hitting my house. Guys, they have the ability to take this asteroid and hurl it towards the Earth, too. You don't think that we have enough technology to get up into space, take an asteroid that's orbiting the Earth, and just spit it towards Earth? We could do that. We've got, I'm sure, drones, rocket drones that can fly up into space, grab that meteor, and hurl it towards Earth. They don't even need the tungsten rod of God. But once that gets hurled towards Earth and it hits a city, then it's game over. They use the meteor to start full control. And then it's the Christians. The excuse would be it was supposed to orbit and then leave, but it will change course and hit Earth. Okay? Do you see it now? I hope it doesn't happen. I hope I eat my shoe on this one. But God, it is so, the timing couldn't be perfect. People are pissed. Everyone hates Trump and everyone hates Harris. Everyone hates what's going on in the country. Everyone is just done. They're done. The media has even admitted in the article about the orbiting asteroid that at times the gravitational pull of neighboring planets can bring that asteroid into Earth's orbit, and maybe the Earth will pull it into it. These small objects are called near-Earth objects, or NEOs, according to NASA. According to Jet Propulsion Laboratory, estimates that there are more than 35,000 NEOs, and 99% of the NEOs are made up of asteroids. But this one is different. It's going to orbit Earth. Never, ever has this happened in the history of the planet. There has not been one article written about an asteroid that comes from somewhere from the asteroid belt and orbits the Earth for a month. Do you understand how bullshit this is? Especially a asteroid 33 feet in diameter, which is a Masonic number. If this hits Earth, according to Earthly Universe, Going a little further back, you might remember the I think it's the Chelyabinsk meteor in Russia on February 15th of 2013. It was traveling at 42,000 miles per hour, and it was 60 feet in diameter. It exploded at an altitude of 18.5 miles up. Fortunately, the atmosphere absorbed most of the energy, which was some 30 times greater than that unleashed by the Hiroshima atomic bomb. Nonetheless, it was enough to send a powerful shockwave all the way to the ground, causing, guess how much money and damage? Guess how much money and damage? $33 million worth of damage. Another Masonic number. It actually injured about 1,500 people. The impact was completely unexpected. Well, you know how the media will take this. That 33-foot diameter, that we were so close to a dinosaur killer. But 33 feet meteor that doesn't break up in the sky and hits the earth, it's climate change's fault. You better get your pocketbooks ready, because you better get ready to pay your meteor tax. It's half the size of the Russian one, but notice the Masonic 33 million number in damages. And this is all done on purpose to show who is in charge and their intent. Only people like me are paying attention and listening, and because I only have 50 people watching this, they're going to get away with it. This is all done on purpose to show who's in charge. Now this meteor, if hit, would be half the size of Hiroshima if it did. And it could set off some major damage. And it will scare the living shit out of the world into submission. Remember, they already did COVID. They can't do that anymore. People won't buy it. There's an interesting book on Amazon called The Great Disruption: Why the Climate Crisis Will Bring on the End of Shopping and the Birth of a New World Order. It's a book by Paul Gilding. Quote, one of those who has been warning me of a coming collapse or crisis for a long time is Paul Gilding, the Australian environmental business expert. He has a name for his moment when both Mother Nature and Father Greed have hit a wall at once, called the Great Disruption, according to the New York Times. Here's a little bit about the book. It's time to stop just worrying about climate change, says Paul. We need instead to brace for impact for a meteor, because global crisis is no longer avoidable. The Great Disruption started in 2008 with spiking food and oil prices and dramatic ecological changes, such as the melting ice caps. It is not simply about fossil fuels and carbon footprints. We have come to the end of economic growth, version 1.0, a world economy based on consumption and waste, where we lived beyond the means of our planet's ecosystems and resources. The Great Disruption offers a stark and unflinching look at the challenge humanity faces, yet also a deeply optimistic message. We'll all come together and sing Kumbaya. The coming decades will be, and we will see, loss, suffering, conflict, as our planetary overdraft is paid. However, they will also bring out the best humanity can offer: compassion, innovation, resilience, and adaptability. Yeah, in the smart cities. Gilding tells us of how to fight and win what he calls the 1-degree war to prevent catastrophic warming of the earth, and how to start today. The crisis represents a rare chance to replace our addiction to growth with an ethic of sustainability. And it's already happening. It's also an unmatched business opportunity. Old industries will collapse while new companies will literally reshape our economy. In the aftermath of the Great Disruption, we will measure growth in a new way. It will mean not quantity of stuff, but quality and happiness of life. Yes, there is life after shopping. Good God. As I have learned, studying the deep state over the years, they can't use the same trick twice within a certain period of time. For example, the pandemic is used every 100 years. That you can bet on. They can't do another one from the same amount of time, as it would be highly suspicious. I do believe Werner von Braun gave us the clues as Carol Bassel informed us during the Disclosure Project in 2001. Ironically, the same year the Twin Towers went down. This clue makes the most sense to me and makes the most sense to the protocols of the learned elders of Zion and their intentions. The Zionists are not hiding anymore. They are not underground. They have been here the whole time using us against ourselves. We can't control their agenda because their God controls this world. We can, however, slow them down. And the only way to do that is to spread this information far and wide. Folks, nothing is a coincidence. Everything is planned.
If you're looking for a publication that delivers honest takes and critical insights into the issues of our day, then look no further than the Flame Paper. The Flame Paper is written for the people, by the people, who aren't afraid to challenge a mainstream narrative, be it healthcare, voter fraud, political correctness, or even the one world government. The Flame is full of timely articles, reports, and expert advice written by freedom-loving, truth-telling experts, journalists, and concerned citizens. To subscribe, go to theflameusa.com.
This has been Cause Before Symptom. I'm your host, James Carner. Tune in tomorrow night when God gives me another thing to tell you guys about. Well, you heard it here first. Meteors coming. Get ready. After that, New World Order time, baby. Smart cities. All to fight the deadly meteors. Go to elitepotion.com and save your life. Go to jamescarner.com and sign up to my newsletter. And do me one favor, if you all could. Love your neighbor. If we all just got along, loved each other, then the world would be a better place. God bless. See you tomorrow.